Hello, fellow yappers. I'm Ruchi.
And I'm Shalini, and we're your hosts of Binge, Yap, Repeat.
We're two best friends who spend an embarrassing amount of time binge watching TV, and honestly, we just need to talk about it. If you're here, we're guessing you do too.
Fair warning, this is a spoiler-friendly zone. We will be discussing lots of spoilers. So, if you haven't watched the show yet, hit pause, go binge, and come back when you're ready to yap with us.
And now, it's yap time. Hello, yappers! Today we're talking about Black Mirror Season 7, Episode 5, titled Eulogy, starring Paul Giamatti. What a surprise!
Love Paul Giamatti.
So the episode synopsis from the Google card. An innovative system that enables users to literally step into photographic memories of the past leads a lonely man, Paul Giamatti, to re-examine a heartbreaking period in his life.
Ruchi, what is a Google card?
Oh, it's like when you like search episode synopsis or something, it's the stuff that comes up on the right. Like it's not a search result, it's just like a thing. Yeah, that's called a card. Yeah.
Good to know. What were your overall thoughts, Ruchi?
My overall thoughts. My OTs. I thought this episode was a lot slower paced than it normally was, than Black Mirror episodes normally are. But I found it to be relaxing in that sense. I know we always ask about, if this technology were available to you, if you would use it. I think this is one where I'm like, yeah, I absolutely would use this technology. This is great. And there didn't really seem to be any kind of negative repercussions like there often are. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, I would love to like relive these photographic moments of things. Yeah. What did you think?
I liked it. I think I wasn't expecting this type of story to be told at first when I was like, oh, look what we have here, another nubbin that ports us into a digital world. I was like, oh man, come on. But I actually thought it was quite creative, and the way they told the story was really good. And I kind of like what I said in episode 1 with Common People. I think this was the type of Black Mirror story where if you can accept the technology as true, then you can just focus on the human story, which is the best part. So, yeah, I ended up really enjoying it.
That was such a beautiful sentence. Yeah, the human story. I agree. I think it was a very, it really did not focus on the technology aspect of it all. And it was really just uncovering the relationship between these two people from the past forward. So yeah, I thought it was lovely.
All right, so episode details. Philip, who's played by Paul Giamatti, he gets a call from this company called Eulogy and finds out that his ex-girlfriend from decades past, Carol, has died. The company requests Philip's contribution via his memories through photos to help Carol's family create a memorial. At first, he's pretty hesitant, but then he agrees to contribute, and he's sent a kit from this company.
Right.
And of course,
the kit was a DHL delivery. Did you see that? I was like,
yeah, a DHL drone delivery.
Yeah, I was like, that's how you know that a European company made this show, because it was a DHL drone and not Amazon or
FedEx or something.
Yeah.
So true. So true. And so, yeah, he gets his kit, and what do you know it? Another nubbin letting him access the digital world.
That's like 4 episodes in this season that deal with a nubbin on the temple, right? Because you've got USS Callister. Then
we have Hotel
one,
Reverie.
Hotel Reverie. And the first one, Common People. Wait, does Common People have one?
I don't think there was a nubbin in that one. I think it was just...
Did Beth Noir
Wait, was there?
No, there wasn't a nubbin in Common People.
Okay.
Okay, so three
Okay, so
episodes.
just three, but 3 out of 6. That's crazy.
3 out of
Also,
six.
what was the first episode that did a nubbin? Was it San Junipero?
I don't remember what season San Junipero was, but USS
Maybe that's
Callister had
season
one, and that was
3.
season 4.
USS Callister, the first one was season 4?
Yeah.
I thought that was season 6. Oh, interesting.
No, season 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think San Junipero came before that. I think that was like season 2 or 3.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
so maybe that was the
Nubbin on
first
the
one.
Temple is just like
Nubbin
just
on the temple.
Nubbin on the Temple.
Oh no, our SpongeBob humor coming out.
Where are we going with this?
Okay, let's
Okay,
move
yes,
on. Let's
yes.
move on.
There were many episodes where there is just a nubbin on the temple as a way to take your consciousness somewhere else.
Yes. Okay, so we meet his guide who walks him through the process and asks some leading questions to help uncover his memories.
Yeah.
As
Oh, and
they,
in
oh
this
yeah, go
part,
ahead.
I love how Paul Giamatti was like, "Oh, can we just skip the intro and get into it?" I thought that was so
Yes,
funny. And then that became like a callback that was like, "Oh, well, you said skip intro."
right.
I was like, "Oh my God, should I like go back and watch this episode and not skip the intro for this episode and actually watch it?"
Oh, do I need to read my terms of service? Just kidding.
It's gonna take me all day.
Yes, that was a great callback. I had even forgotten that he said that, so I'm glad they came back to that. So as they explore the photos, we learn that they met when they were young adults and they ended badly because he has either, yeah, they've definitely ended badly because he has either cut or blacked her out of every single photo he has of her.
Mm-hmm.
They were together for 3 years, and it's shown that their love was really intense, very serious, kind of intoxicating. So going through the photos, the first one they show is of him at a barbecue talking to her for the first time. The second one is a huge house party where the two of them are kind of flirting in a doorway, and then they go upstairs together. Then there's a photo of Philip standing in a doorway, and he says he's listening to her play an original piece on the cello,
Mm,
but he can't remember what it sounds like or anything. He also cannot recall what she looks like because he's cut her face out of all the photos.
yeah. I did want the photos to come more to life with his memory. So I think we saw this in one of the photos when they're painting their kitchen or something, and then you see it's a black and white photo, and then the paint, he remembers that the paint is blue, and then you see the paint is blue. I wanted to have more of that type. I feel like that was the
Mm,
only thing where we saw the photos become more lifelike in that moment, but everything else remained static, in spite of him continuing to remember things a little bit more. So I wanted to see more of that.
yeah, that would have been fun. Kind of showing as he remembers more and more and is telling the guide more, the photo becomes more kind of saturated with memories and maybe starts moving and stuff. That would have been cool.
Yeah, because he does kind of remember the audio. Like in the
Yeah.
party scenes, for example, there is more audio and everything about like the actual stuff that's happened in life.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Then we see a photo of them at some fair in Cape Cod, and he says that that's the first time they realized they were serious. Then I think the next photo after that is at the bar on Halloween, or did I
Mm,
miss one?
I think after that is they move in together and then
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
bar. Yeah, the black and white picture and then it's the bar.
Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The black and white picture of them painting their house blue instead of yellow, and you can kind of see the love coming back into his eyes when he recalls that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, our landlord was so mad at us, but we didn't care. We were just in love. Blah blah blah. We shouldn't
Yeah.
have even painted it that color." Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah.
Then you start to see their relationship crack a little bit. So at the bar on Halloween, she's being hit on by some creep in a costume while he's bartending, and he gets a little jealous. And then he's being hit on by his coworker, Emma, and then she gets mad at him for that, and so then they had a big fight after that. That's kind of the first crack you see in their relationship.
Yeah, and I love how the guide is there just being like, that's not true because look over there. That's not true because look at this thing that you see. She's leaning away from him. Like she is seeing all of the things that he basically refuses to see.
Yes, that was so interesting. And I think that that's something that without this technology wouldn't be possible because if it were just his memory, he would have just said what he remembered. But then she was like, hey, look at this corner over here that you weren't paying attention to that I can now see. And you can clearly
Yeah.
tell that she's running away from him or whatever.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting though, because I think in that moment when she started actually grilling him, actually I think a little bit before too, when she actually started thinking through like critically what she knew, I was like, is this guide Carol? Like, is she Carol? But then the fact that he saw her face and wasn't like, oh, this is Carol. I
Right.
was like, oh, I guess she's not. Because then,
I
like, her face
know.
would have filled out everywhere.
Totally. I was trying to figure it out too. How is this person or how is this guide connected to the story? Because clearly they have a stake in the game. It's
Hmm.
very obvious that they care about this for some reason. They're not just an objective observer.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, and the other thing that I noticed is when we first hear the guide, when he is going through the setup process, and she starts talking on the nubbin, she uses a lot of filler words or like vocal inflections, like, okay, how about you do this? Or do you have any pictures? And I remember thinking, like, okay, I think this voice is probably an AI something. But the fact that they had those vocal inflections in there actually made me think of when Google announced their assistant calling service. And they also they hard coded in like these vocal inflections to make it sound more human. And so I was reminded of that. I was like, is that what they're doing here?
Interesting. Ooh, yeah, that always gives me the heebie-jeebies when something I know is a robot is like trying to convince
Human.
you, yeah, convince you that it's human by adding in all these filler words and stuff. Ooh. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't go that direction and that she was stumbling over her words because she is actually someone, or I mean, a copy of someone.
Yeah. Which I want to talk more about that too, but maybe a little bit later.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we can get to that. So then, after their big fight on Halloween, we find out that Carol got asked to play cello in London. And so she moves to London. Yes, pop off queen. Good for you. And then fast forward a little bit, she's been in London for a while. It's Phil's birthday, and we just jump into a photograph of him flipping someone off from his bed. But we know that Carol is in London. And
Mm.
so who is taking this photograph? And then he remembers that it was his coworker, Emma,
Oh, also,
the
like,
one that
how would
Carol
he
was worried
not
about.
remember that? Or maybe
Yeah,
he did remember and he just
come
didn't
on.
want to talk about it.
Probably. That was my guess that he either blocked out the memory because he was so ashamed or he just didn't want to reveal, but then obviously he had to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was pretty unimpressed with Paul Giamatti's character.
I
I
know,
was
me
like,
too.
he's just a fucking dude at the end of the day. They're
Yeah,
all
who
just dudes.
literally, and also I mean, the guide pointed it out to him that he keeps focusing on what she did wrong, but is taking zero accountability for what he did, which was
Yeah.
so egregious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, so rude. All right, so yeah, she calls him, but then Emma picks up and she's like,
Hmm.
"Wow, I knew it all along."
A woman's intuition, always right.
His
Always
intuition.
right. Yep. And so Carol is understandably devastated. Then he already had planned to go visit her in London, so he goes to visit her, brings a ring with him, and then also just dudes being dudes. He's like, "Oh, she had gained some weight and also she didn't want any champagne. But this dumbass man did not put two and two together and realize that she was pregnant.
I know, right? I was thinking about that too. I was like, what? Like, in what world do you not pay attention? Like, literally all of the previous episodes are them drinking together, so it's not like she's anti-drinking. And so if she
Right.
is not drinking, it's very obviously because of something. That's like the first logical step that you go to when someone's not drinking. You're like, oh, damn
Yeah.
it.
Right. Oh, so dumb.
Yeah. Also, like, did they not talk in between? Okay, he said like a few months later, right? So she calls him on his birthday, and then Emma picks up the phone, and then she's devastated, goes out and sleeps with some guy in her orchestra. And then
Mhm.
a few months later, he comes and visits her with a ring. Like, did they not talk in between any of that? Is that the point that he was so clueless that he's like, you know what? Haven't talked to my girlfriend in 4 months, but I'm gonna propose, so she's gonna, forgive me and it'll be fine.
Maybe. Yeah, they didn't really explain. Maybe it did happen that way, and he was like, she'll love a big gesture. Let me do this grand gesture of just flying there and proposing.
Where are they gonna live?
What's the plan, bro?
What's the plan,
What's the
dude?
plan?
You know what's
Women love
really,
plans.
you know what's sexier than proposing? A plan.
A life plan.
A life
Yes.
plan. Anyway, I think we're
Um,
projecting a little bit.
anyway, so he tells the guide that he proposed to her and then she got up and left and he never saw her again.
Mm,
Then the guide basically is like, you dumb piece of shit, she was pregnant with me. And then we find out that the guide is Kelly, Carol's daughter, but
yeah,
Paul Giamatti is not the father. Uh, Kelly is the result of a one night stand that Carol had had after
yeah,
finding out that Philip cheated on her.
yeah. What I thought was interesting is that this is the first time that we've seen an innie that is not obsessed with self-preservation.
That's so true. I also noticed that, but yeah, that's very true. She was so kind of self aware of her role in the world. She was like, I'm
Yeah,
just here to gather the memories, and that's it. And
yeah.
then the real Kelly will collect them.
Yeah, and so wait, so then does the Echo then like give all of that knowledge to Kelly?
I think so. I think so. Or maybe
Okay.
Kelly, yeah, Kelly somehow must be able to download all of the information from the Echo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense that when he showed up, she wasn't just like, "Who are you?"
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, she must know. Right, because her look was so knowing when she looked at him during the funeral.
Yeah. Okay, question. Do you think that the cello piece that she was playing at the end, by the way, is so beautiful. I really enjoyed the ending of this.
Yeah.
Do you think that the cello piece that she was playing by the end was something that she got from Philip's memory, like from the photograph, or
Oh,
from his recording? Or do you think that she had just known it this whole time and was like, this is a fitting piece to play for my mom?
good question. I think I want to say the former just because I think that's a more interesting story. And I think if she knew some of her mom's original pieces, she would have said that to Philip at some point. She would have been like,
Mm,
oh, was it this one? Was it this one? Or something.
yeah.
I think she kind of made it seem like she also doesn't know any of Carol's pieces.
Yeah, that's true. And I wonder if very similarly how Philip kind of just erased her face from all of the photos, that Carol also was like, I'm never gonna play this piece again because it reminds me of my time with Philip and like that piece of
Yeah,
shit, like I never want to see him again.
I could totally see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, also my heart broke when he realized that she actually did leave him a note and the note was in the picture. And he was trying
Yeah.
to pick it up. I was like, let him pick it up.
Oh my God, his face was so heartbreaking. He was just,
Yeah.
Oh, he was so distraught. That was so sad.
Yeah, someone give him that pendant where he can be like, give me the universe where I saw the note.
Yeah, he needs that pendant. He needs that pendant because who knows what would have happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get together.
Uh, so I guess backing up a little bit, Philip realizes that he has a disposable camera from that trip with just one photo taken, that he gets it developed, and that's when we see that note. Thank God he kept it. I
Thank
don't
God.
know how that's possible, but thank God.
Yeah, thank
And
God Philip
yeah.
is a hoarder.
Yeah, seriously. His old Converse box. And yeah, he reads it and turns out she wanted him to meet her after her performance, and he never
Yeah,
knew.
I
And she
know.
hadn't left him forever.
And this is why communication is important, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you gotta communicate everything in the moment. Nobody's a mind reader. Nobody's a letter reader either.
No one reads or listens to anything anyone says ever.
What?
Yeah, I know. If it was me, because I'm an annoying person like this, I would have been like, what if he didn't read the note? Let's just confirm with him.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Let
I'm
me
just
just
wondering,
text
did you get that note?
him. Yeah. Sure, like
So
at
this
least
would not have happened to me.
yeah, like leave a message with the concierge or someone to be like, make sure he gets the note. Just put it on a calendar,
Yep.
knock on his door at 8 a.m., remind him of this event.
Yep.
Just in case, just in case.
Gotta have a backup plan. Can't
Yeah,
let your entire future ride on this one note.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's very romantic, but this is what separates the artists from the anxieties that we experience. Should we rate the episode?
Yeah. I think I would give this one probably a 7.5.
Like
It was good.
consistently a half point lower than you. I was gonna say
Why am I
7.
even bothering with half points? I don't know, but I'm gonna
It's
stick with
vibes.
it.
It's vibes.
Yeah, 7.5, I think, like I said, I love those heart-wrenching human stories. I thought this use of a nubbin technology was pretty creative, and that there were some good twists in there, and I love Paul Giamatti.
Mm. I'm not actually a huge fan of Paul Giamatti. I do feel like he gives scary white man energy. Like I was kind of scared of him. But yeah, I would give this a 7. I really did love the cello piece in the end. I thought it was just a really beautiful ending and how it was really nice to see how he completely did a 180 from the beginning of the episode. He was just like, why would I go to England? Like London? Ew, I'm so far. There's absolutely no way. And then at the end, he was like, no, I'm here. I showed up and I have like renewed understanding of our love story.
Yeah, it was a really nice ending. I
Yeah.
liked it. I also saw that this episode received a lot of critical acclaim, and a lot of people are saying that it's the best episode of season 7 and one of the best episodes of Black Mirror of all time, which I think
Wow.
surprised me a little bit. I did like it, but I wouldn't say it was even my favorite in this season.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that was a question that I wanted to ask you that we would put at the end of episode 6. I do think that it's different. I think it depends on like what Black Mirror is trying to do, right? I think if Black Mirror is trying to shed a light on how tech is like terrible for us and how we can enter tech dystopias if we don't have more regulations or if we don't treat it with the respect it deserves, then I don't think this really proves that point. But I do think it proves another point, which is we can let tech give us a different perspective and allow us to be like the best versions of ourselves, I guess. So I kind of see that perspective. I don't know, does it agree with what Black Mirror is trying to do? Who knows? But like, yeah, I thought it was a good episode.
Thanks for yapping with us. If you loved this episode, have some hot takes we missed, or if you've got a show you're dying for us to binge next, follow us on socials. We're at Binge Yap Repeat.
Until next time, happy binging!